One of the things that's really important, and I think you've all gotten the sense, is that we need to come up with a whole bunch of volunteers that can help us run this program. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about some resources we've developed in another project that I work on statewide called Get Involved, powered by your library. This is something we've been doing for about 5 years, and this is our most recent annual report. I think I put one in your packet. But the thing to know is that this is focused on the concept that we are recruiting volunteers with skills. So we're going beyond the kind of traditional volunteer recruitment that libraries have done all these years. I think literacy sort of leads the way because we've seen a place to use higher level volunteers as adult literacy tutors. But you heard these guys talking about lots of other ways that volunteers can be engaged, not just in the literacy program, but in the library. And that's what this project has been about. And using the annual statewide statistics that your library director reports to the state library every year, and then we report to the feds, the question about volunteerism has shown that we've increased library volunteerism in California by 52% in 5 years. But if that wasn't cool enough, we're getting them in lots of different kinds of jobs, in high-skilled positions. You can see some of them there. Event planners, computer coaches, all kinds of folks. Many of you know that the person he designed the statewide public relations plan for the 30th anniversary of the literacy campaign, is a volunteer. And he came in, he's a PR guy, has his own PR firm, and he made us basically one of his clients for free and did some amazing work for us that any of you could have locally by reaching out to somebody like that. Are you all aware that the state library provides for you a free upgraded volunteer match account for every library branch? Who is anybody that doesn't know this? Okay, what this means is that we have purchased for you in a partnership with Volunteer Match a special account. Anybody can use Volunteer Match for free to recruit volunteers, but we've given you the purchased account, which means you get all the bells and whistles that will help you be found more easily by volunteers. I was thrilled to read in the applications I got from the literacy programs this year, I'd say 70% of them said that Volunteer Match is now one of their top recruiters for adult literacy tutors. So if you're not using Volunteer Match, I really encourage you to. And I'm going to show you just a little bit about how it works. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. So here's how it works, basically. Volunteers come here. If you Google volunteer, this is what comes up. You come to volunteermatch.org. This is also where you would sign in to your account. See it up here? Sign in. And here's how it works. So let's just type in my zip code. And it's searching for all the volunteer opportunities posted on Volunteer Match within a 20-mile radius of that zip code I just posted. So down here we can see that there are 522 local listings within that 20-mile radius of that. So the person's going to click on that and they're going to start seeing a list of volunteer opportunities. Now what it's bringing back is it's showing you the most recently posted within that geographic area, because Volunteer Match doesn't want a volunteer to get a bad, an old posting, so they're going to see the most recent. So one of the advantages of having our upgraded accounts is that there's a way you can go in and repost your opportunity every hour if you want to keep it at the top of the list. And I'm actually going to do that while we're talking because I have a thing that I need to repost today. But you see that they all kind of look alike? So you want to find something, and there it is. That's what I reposted yesterday, our docents who give tours of the state library. You're looking for something that jumps out at you, right? And one of the very first meetings we had with Volunteer Match when we implemented this was with a group of literacy people, and they told us this story, that they brought in a volunteer at Volunteer Match to find out which postings got the most hits, which postings got the least hits. Here's the answer. The least hits all had one thing in common: misspellings or typos or bad grammar. Okay, so use spell check before you post. The number one thing that got hand over fist more hits than any other one was called "Change the World in Your Pajamas." Okay, now how could you not click on that, right, to see what it was? And it was something you could do at home, like you were doing some kind of survey or some work at home, but they had millions of people click on it. So right then, that very day, our literacy folks said, oh, I get it, so we don't want to put literacy tutor, we want to put change a life. help an adult learn to read, or you'll see a million of them as we go through this. Think of a way that you're going to tell somebody in that title what difference their time is going to make if they volunteer for this opportunity. I was going to see if we can find a literacy one in here. So people go all the way down here and they get to the bottom. I think it serves it up in layers of 10. There's one. Become a literacy tutor, teach adults to read. This is the Sacramento Public Library. Okay, so here's what it looks like when somebody clicks on it. Our goal is to get somebody to click the I want to help button. What that does is it sends an email to whoever you told it to send it to. What you can do with our special upgraded features that we've bought for you is that if you don't have the upgraded features, the person just gets a generic email back from Volunteer Match that says, thank you, we'll send your interest on. If you use our upgraded features, you can send a customized email back that says, thank you for your interest in our position as an adult literacy tutor. We've attached the full job description and our list of training dates. And if you have an online application, you can give them the link and they can fill it out right there, or you can email them the document. So you can attach up to 3 documents. You can use an online application form if you like. That's one of the ways that our upgraded features help you. So this one is really very good because they have a photo. The other thing we know is if you have a photo on your Volunteer Match posting, not just a photo of your library or a photo of your logo, but a picture of what it looks like to be the volunteer in this position, then you're going to get 3 times as many hits as those who don't. You're going to want to use what they say is about 100 words, lots of white space. You can click on read more, and she doesn't have that much more there. But you want to make very good use of that space. You want to give people a sense of what this is going to be like, what a difference they're going to make. You don't want to throw in all our library jargon and our acronyms because that just will turn people off. And then you can see that it's going to show what skills people need. There's actually skills for literacy and reading you can pick. And if you pick one of the skills up to at least one, you can show up to 6. But if you pick at least one of the skills when you're creating your volunteer posting, Volunteer Match and LinkedIn now have a partnership so that it will start sharing that not only on Volunteer Match, but it's going to send it to people on LinkedIn who might be interested. Some of you know I currently have a social media volunteer who is awesome, and that's where I got her. She found it on LinkedIn and came through Volunteer Match. So be sure to use it that way. So let me show you one other feature of what we have with our relationship with Volunteer Match. You can have this too. And then I'm going to open up my account and show you just a little bit about it. So here's the State Library's website, and this little box right here that says Get Involved. This is created by Volunteer Match specifically for us. You can have this on your library's website, and if you don't, you should. And I can give it to you for free. You type in your zip code, and people said to me, Carla, nobody is going to type their zip code in there. Over 7,000 people have typed their zip code in there. I'm telling you, they will. Don't just trust me on this. It takes you to a special hub site that Volunteer Match has created for us, which is pulling in from Volunteer Match within a 20-mile radius of that zip code I typed in, but it's organizing them in a special way. So this first column is called Strengthen Libraries. So only volunteer opportunities within a 20-mile radius that are in our special bucket of California library accounts are going to show up in there. So what we're doing here is we're saying to the volunteer, hey, we'd like you to volunteer at a library. And if you don't find something you like in the library, then you can go to the next thing, which is literacy. Okay? So your literacy ones are going to show up in that first column, but they're probably also going to show up in the second column. What brings them in here is anybody who used the term education and literacy when they described use that keyword when they described it in their volunteer opportunity. Change lives, tutor a county jail inmate. That's the Placer County Library. Help an adult in your community learn to read. Woodland Public Library. Very good. Okay, and then there are 2 others. What we said is we'd like you to get involved in the library or literacy, or if you don't find anything there, we just want you to get involved so you can click there and find things in your community. And the 4th one is for teens. So there are some, if you have teens that come in and need to give 30 hours of service before they graduate next week, and they expect you to create something for them, Right? I mean, I know librarians are wonderful. They will drop whatever they're doing and create something for them. Or another option is you can send them here and say, look, check this out. There are organizations in the community that need your help. So the point I want to make here is you want to have this widget. If you have a literacy page, put the widget on it. If you have a volunteer page, put the widget on it. But please also put it on your homepage, because only people who are looking for a volunteer opportunity will find it on your volunteer page. But people, thousands of people are typing them in here as well. So be sure to do that. I want to show you one more thing while I'm here, because this is so awesome. We never had a volunteer page on our website, and now we do. And here's how we have it. This looks just like our website, right? But it's actually generated by HTML code from Volunteer Match. This is called a site syndicate. It is free with the option, the accounts we have bought for you through Volunteer Match. And here's what it is. Whatever volunteer opportunities we have posted show up here. So I never have to change anything. I never have to edit our volunteer page, because it automatically changes whenever I change something on one of the Volunteer Match postings. If I take one down because we filled the job, it goes away. If I change a date, it updates it automatically. So you too can have a free volunteer website on your page. Volunteer Match can help you with this. If you need help, let me know about that. All right, let's just go into my account so I can show you how easy this is. You sign in here. It's always going to be with your, so when you come in, it's going to list your organizations, which in your case means your library branches, because you're going to have an account for every branch. You don't have to use them all. You can use them all. You can use one, you can use 5, you can use all of them, whatever makes sense for how you do volunteerism in your library. But we have 2. One is the State Library in Sacramento, and one is our Sutro Library in San Francisco. So here's what they look like. Every volunteer opportunity I've ever posted on Volunteer Match is still in here. You don't ever lose it. You can just make it inactive, so that if you need to go back and recruit again, you just make it active again, right? So this is the docent one. We're recruiting hard for this right now. You just click on the edit button, and right here under where it says active, the word says repost. I click there, and it says repost successful. So it just took it to the top of the list again. So you can do that. I just do it every day when I get to work. That's the first thing I do. I got my coffee in one hand and I repost my Volunteer Match opportunities, and you can do that too. Because if they get too far down, remember that anytime anybody new in your zip code is adding things, yours is getting pushed farther and farther down. And if you're in a big metropolitan area where you've got a couple of thousand volunteer opportunities posted, you don't want to be on the 55th page. You want to be on the page 1 or page 2. So let me just show you quickly. I'm not going to add an opportunity, but I'll show you by clicking on edit what it looks like. So it's very simple. It's just like a form you fill out, right? I create the job description separately as a Word document, and then I cut and paste and put things in here that I want. This is an ongoing project. If you have a specific date for something, you can. There's the description. And here's where you link to LinkedIn. So right here, they have this whole taxonomy of terms. So under, let's just look at education and literacy. You can click up to 6. These aren't for a literacy one, obviously, but this is for what I'm doing. So you could click on adult education, English as a second language, financial literacy, general education, literacy and reading, math and science instruction, mentoring, reading and writing, STEM, special needs, sports coaching, teaching, instruction, and tutoring. You can click on up to 6 of those, and it will start, in addition to sharing it on Volunteer Match, it's now going to share it with people on LinkedIn, as long as you pick at least one. Okay? And other than that, it's just a little form you fill out. You can store up to 20 photos in your account. The special features are over here. Premium accounts are the ones that we buy for you. And that's we bought him again for this fiscal year. I think he's going to do it again next year, and then we may stage them out for a while, because we've been buying them for a number of years. But they're only $75. So if you find it's useful, it's not a huge commitment. So here's the greeting manager I mentioned, where you can create a special greeting that goes back to the person. You can attach documents to it. In our case, we now have an online application, and where we got that was through the thing. Do you know about Volgistics? Okay, so this is a service you can buy. It's based on how many volunteers you have, and that's how you maintain all your volunteer statistics, et cetera. Well, one of the features that comes with it is you can create an online application, and the cool thing is they fill it out, and enters all their data into the system, including giving you a PDF version of the application. So it's pretty cool. There's other ones. You don't have to go with Volgistics. There's other services like that. But just so you know, if you don't have an online application, that's an easy way to get one. There's also a questions manager where you can ask somebody things in advance. One of the problems we have with this docent one is our libraries, the state library is not open on the weekends or in the evenings. So you have to be able to give tours during the day, during the workday. And so even though we say that in there, we consistently were getting people who said, I'd love to do this on the evening and weekends. So now we have a question that goes back to them. It says, this position requires your ability to give tours during the workday. Are you available for that? And then when they click no, then we don't have to hear from them. So remember this, people go to Volunteer Match looking for something interesting and fun to do and a way to share their skills. They may not just be clicking on your opportunity, they may be shopping. They may click on several. And what they're interested in is they will take the one that fits their needs, right? So just because you get 100 hits a month doesn't mean you're going to get 100 volunteers a month. They're going to sort themselves out and you're going to sort some of them out. But it is a very powerful tool in terms of increasing, adding to the other ways that you're recruiting volunteers. I want to show you this tool because this is something we created for that Get Involved initiative that I'm working on. We're storing all the resources that libraries are creating for skilled volunteer purposes. And you'll find under management tools things like handbooks, and if you use the keyword menu, applications, and all that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for a volunteer management system, like I mentioned, Volgistics, if you don't have one, if you go there, it will bring up all the things that are in here. I had several libraries do reviews of the services of what they were using, but this is a really cool thing. It's the Consumer's Guide to Volunteer Management Systems, and it just compares them all across each other. So feel free to look at that. But here's what I really want to show you is two things. Under high-impact volunteer positions, if you click on adult literacy, it brings up all the different kinds of ways that libraries are using volunteers in their literacy programs. Not just there's a number of tutor descriptions, but also others. Sacramento Public's using GE Teachers, and you guys do a math tutor program too, don't you, in Sacramento? A computer learning center coach, the coordinator of computer instruction, English language tutor for K-12 students, family literacy folks, learning opportunity facilitator, lots of different kinds of things. And what you do is you pick one, pick what's interesting to you, and you can download it and change it to meet your own needs. And the other cool part about this is the photo section, because I know sometimes you don't have good photos. And so we hired with that grant money, we hired a professional photographer. We went to libraries all around Northern California and took awesome, awesome photos. These people have all signed releases saying that we can use them. And if you click on adult literacy and click apply, it will bring up a variety of adult literacy photos that you can use. One-on-one, small groups. There's even one that looks like a book club. There's some that look like GED because they've got GED materials. All kinds of stuff that you can use. And on every page it tells you how you download the picture, right-click and blah, blah, blah. And they're already sized for Volunteer Match. So you just have to download it and upload it into Volunteer Match, into your Volunteer Match account, and you can use it as however you like. Pretty cool, huh? I'll show you one more thing, and that is the, let's sign out of my account. I just wanted to take you to to our website. So this is libraryliteracy.org, and I want to just show you a little bit. If you haven't seen these videos that we created for the 30th anniversary, you have to see them. They're just excruciatingly beautiful. This is Steve. I mentioned the guy who went all the way to sergeant in the Army without knowing how to read. But basically, you'll see across here, there's things for learners here. Here's the stuff for tutors, the tutor resources. There's the Roles and Goals curriculum. There's the adult literacy tutor training videos, the Pinterest account. Something people, I think, forget about is we have media archives, so all the things we do by video or webcast are in here. If you just do all webcasts and recorded audio files, you can see a number of things. Here's one we did last year on Apps for All, learning with tablets and smartphones, integrating online tools into library literacy instruction. Secrets of the Great CLLS Events. One of the things we did for the 30th anniversary was we asked every program to do a big community event, and this is a website, a webinar on all the different events and how to produce them. Lots of stuff in here. Just don't forget that all this cool stuff is here. And then finally, there's a place on here to find a library literacy program by zip code. And of course, there's the Get Involved widget. How cool is that? So those are the main things I wanted to show you about volunteer recruitment. If you have any questions about that right now, I would just really strongly suggest that you integrate Volunteer Match into whatever other ways you're recruiting volunteers, because it's a powerful tool. But two other things. This is a list of all the literacy coordinators in the state by library. So you have them. Whoever you need, you have. When you want to go look at Val Hardy's beautiful San Diego Public Library literacy program, she's on here. You call her up and say, can I come down and see your space? And she'll make it available to you. And this is our most recent report to the legislature. So once a year, we put together a report that goes to the legislature. Andrea's the one who makes it beautiful, so tell her how nice it looks.
Is that available as a PDF online?
It's online. Mm-hmm. And if you can't find it, holler at me and I'll get it for you. But it lists, there's a couple things in here. It lists, there's some writing, and I'll tell you that usually I have written these in the past. This year, the state librarian asked me to get him some information, and he wrote this. Okay, so pretty awesome. But two other things are in here. Here's a list of all the programs and how much they got the previous year. And it also lists which programs they have: adult literacy, family, LE, and MLLS. Although this is, when we report in 2015, we're reporting on the 13-14 fiscal year, right? Because that's the data I have. So there's already been some changes in here. There's already fewer LE programs and a few fewer MLLS programs. They're kind of going by the wayside here. So what was the other thing I wanted to show you? Oh, this is where we put roles and goals for the legislature. So this happens once a year, and we send it to every legislator, to their home office, to their capital office, and to the governor. And we actually occasionally get a call when somebody says, oh, that's cool. We always, in the cover letter, it always invites them to contact us, and we will put them in touch with their local program.